Hi everyone, my name is Emma and I work at Avon Wildlife Trust, and I thought today I'd just talk you through some of the main settings that I like to use on my little wildlife trail cameras. Obviously everyone has their own settings and their own preferences, but if you're looking at getting started in wildlife camera trapping, this might be a good place to start. I'll talk you through the basic setup and then you can take it from there. So I've had these little cameras probably over 6 years now, maybe longer, and I really love them. I've had nothing go wrong with them. One of them was half eaten by a hyena, but that was not in a UK context and is not going to happen if you put them up here in the UK. But just so you know, they're not entirely indestructible. But what I really like about them is they're really small, they're really compact, you can put them in your pocket, they're really light as well. And they're also this nice camouflaged green colour, which means that they're not likely to be seen in the first place if you hide them well, and then are less likely to be stolen. I've never had any problems with mine being stolen, even though I'm putting them up in quite urban settings across the UK. So this is what the display looks like from the outside. So this is the main screen where you'll be able to set all your settings and your preferences, and it'll also be where you can play back any footage that you've gotten, just as a quick way to see what you've got. These two buttons on the side here are your infrared lamps. So these cameras record during the day, but also at night. And at night they'll use infrared beams. And those are really good because animals can't see them, so it won't disturb their behaviours. So it's a good non-invasive way to capture behaviours that you might never get the chance to see if you were just going out and trying to observe these behaviours during the day. This here is your little lens, so the camera that's going to capture the pictures or videos or whatever you'd like to capture on here. And then this here is the motion sensor. So that's what captures when animals or anything else moves in front of the screen. So if I just open it up here, you can see it takes 4 AA batteries. You can use rechargeable or non-rechargeable. Non-rechargeable tend to last a bit longer if you're looking at leaving it out for maybe a few weeks to a month. I tend to leave mine out for about 2 weeks max, just because at that point I want to see what I've got. And if you've got a lot of footage, then it can be quite a big job sorting through it for any longer periods of time than that. So then you can see here at the bottom, this bit here is your micro SD card slot. So you just push it to get it in and out. They're really small. I'm using a 16GB micro SD because little camera traps like these tend to not be able to cope with anything more than 32GB. So even though you might think it's great to go and put like a 128GB one in that you'll get loads of footage, these cameras can't really cope with that. The bigger, more expensive ones definitely can, but tend to stick with 16 to 32 on these little ones. And then you see you've got this switch here. You've got 3 options, which is common for a lot of camera traps. So you've got off, test and on. So test is where you're going to be setting all your system preferences, everything in the menu option, and then when you're happy with that, then you'll put it on and it will start recording footage. So if I flick it now, it's on off. If I flick it to test, so that's just flick it once into the middle, you'll see that it opens up the screen and that it's on, so you can see yourself. And what we want to do is go into menu, so you just click on menu and you're going to use these 2 arrows and OK to navigate through this. So if we go into mode, this means do you want the camera to take pictures, videos, both? I like using videos, that's just a personal preference, and then I can take still images from that afterwards if I want, but that's your choice. And to confirm that, you just press OK. Then we've got resolution. So this is referring to the resolution of the picture. So the highest resolution means it's the best quality, but it will take up the most space on your camera trap, whereas the bottom one is the lowest quality, so to speak, but it will take up the least space. I tend to go in the middle, but if I was using footage for a documentary or something that required a bit higher resolution, then I'd change that. And again, you click OK. Continuous shot refers to whether you're taking pictures. How many pictures do you want the camera to capture in a row? I've just got it set to 1 because I'm mainly working in video. Then your ISO, this is your camera's sensitivity to light. All cameras have this. I tend to just keep it on auto because the light changes so much throughout the day and night. So if you have it on auto, the camera decides all of that for you. Then you've got your video size. So this is the same as the pictures. So the highest one is the best quality video, but it takes up a lot of space. The bottom one is the lowest quality, but takes up the least space. So again, I tend to go in the middle unless I'm using it for something specific. Then you go into your video length. I quite like it at 30 seconds just because that allows for enough behaviour to be captured, but it doesn't drag on too much that you're then left with a lot of footage. You can choose whether it records audio or not. I alternate between the two, but sometimes you can get some cute animal squeaks and noises if you have the sound on. Then you've got your PIR interval. So what this means is how long do you want the camera to wait before it starts recording another video or taking another picture. So I like to have it on the lowest one, 1 second. So that means if something has just walked past the camera and then something else comes straight after, it will keep recording. But that does mean you have more footage and it takes up more space. So if you didn't want it to record as much, I think you can go all the way up to 30 minutes, which would mean it would record one thing and then it would wait another 30 minutes before recording again. And then you've got your PIR sensitivity. So if you had it on a low sensitivity, that would mean it wouldn't really capture much small stuff and it would mainly focus on larger animals. Whereas if you have it on high sensitivity, it tends to capture everything. So all the small stuff, birds, insects, things like that. But if you have it on high sensitivity, that can also mean that if there are branches or leaves in front of the camera, that it captures absolutely everything. And it's then a big job for you sorting through the footage of hundreds of videos of a branch. So I tend to have it on medium, but it depends on the type of habitat you're filming in, if you're looking at big animals, small animals. Then there's some other settings as well that I don't tend to use that much. You can do time lapse, change the name of the camera, you can set a password so that it's protected. One that is quite important is the time and date. So this means that this time and date will be displayed on the picture or video. And this just gives you a good indication of when the animal was active, but it's your choice if you want to display it or not. And then when you're happy with all your settings, you can open it up and flick the camera to on, and it will do a countdown, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The screen will go black, and then that means it's ready and recording. And you can just leave it there. Obviously this would be all fastened up and clipped onto a tree or wherever you want to put it, but then that's all done. So then when you're ready to pick up your camera trap, say you've left it out for about a week and you want to see if it's got any footage on it, you will then flick it to test. And then click play. So you can see at the top here, there's 9 videos on here. This is just me setting up, so it's nothing interesting. Let's go to this one. So you can see this is just the top of my head. And if you want to play it, you just click this play button here. And you can see it's just me setting up, talking to the camera, nothing exciting. But you can have a flick through, and this is just a quick way to see if you've captured anything exciting. And then you can always look at it more on your laptop and then process it. So that was just a little overview of some of the settings that I like to use. But obviously it's case by case dependent, and the best way is just to go out, start doing it yourself and figure out what works for you. There's also some great resources and videos online to help you. Good luck camera trapping!